People greatly underestimate the power of being able to go into a state of peace. Flip, flip, flip. You don't want to hear about it. It's boring. But if you only knew how important it was to be able to just stop being angry, to stop being frustrated, agitated, and stop blaming everything externally on that state of agitation and anger and all that. If you understood the importance and the power that you have, all your problems will be solved. And people always say, yeah, but you don't understand. How are we supposed to be in a state of peace when bombs are going off all around us? Well, I'm not saying that it's easy, and I'm not saying that everybody can do it, and that bombs going off, that's just supposed to be okay. That's okay. What I'm saying is, being in a state of peace is the answer, as opposed to being in a state of fear. If you are about to be terminated and you know it, would you rather be in a state of fear and panic or a state of peace to be okay with it? That's what Christianity is really about, or was about. And that, most Christians, they're supposed to be talking about how they have the grace of Jesus. They have grace and peace. A lot of Christian people get this. They understand what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm saying there are a lot of people that do not practice what they preach, and they don't even understand what they think they believe. But grace and peace are about you taking control, you having the power. And they're like, no, it's Jesus. Jesus is doing it. What do you think Jesus is? You can't access peace and grace because of someone else. It has to come from you. You have the willpower to do it. It takes your willpower. Otherwise, we'd all be in a state of grace and peace, and no one would be afraid, because the gods, or God, or Jesus, whatever you believe in, won't allow you to be in a state of fear. Won't allow you to be angry, upset. You'll always be perfect in every way because God's in control. But no, you have to make that choice. That means you are the one that has the power. So when I'm talking about being self-actualized, I'm talking in even the words of Jesus, or Yeshua, ye are all gods. Did they not tell you, ye are all gods? He's saying that. And then I have people saying, you just think you're God. Okay, it's in the Bible that we are all gods. And the meaning of that is not that we think we can control everything else and everyone else. It means we have the power to access pure bliss, consciousness, peace. We have that power. It's up to us. And that's the only thing that matters. Not manifesting a Lamborghini or a beautiful house on a hill, those things are great, but that's not what your power is really about. Every single time I hear a Christian go, you need to have faith in him. He's the one that gives you the power. It just makes me cringe, because him, where is he? You're talking about someone that's not there. I mean, this is cognitive dissonance, and I'm not trying to be mean, but this is cognitive dissonance, because you are looking for someone. The thing is there. The thing is peace. The thing is lucidity, higher consciousness. That's there. The bliss is there. But the person that you're pointing to and saying him as a personality and identity, where is it? Where is that being? Do you honestly think that he is floating up in the sky looking down on you? A ghost? A spirit floating above you? Do you think he's an alien in a spaceship that's looking down on you and he's the God of the world? Because that God is not the highest. That's not the highest. Anything outside of you, any external being who says, I am God, if they say, look, Christ, I am Christ. He is here over there. Do not believe them. Christ is within you. This is in the Bible that you read, Christians. You're supposed to be reading the Bible, right? I seem to know more about the Bible than most people who claim to be Christians. I don't claim to be a Christian because I know that labels are illusions. They are things that people can hide behind. And, until you're willing to be completely transparent, expose your non-self, and realize what the self actually is, which is an illusion. It's just a word that we use to identify the being that we are. But we are not separate. Nothing is separate from anything other than separated by this material construct where we have physical bodies, but we are actually consciousness having this material experience. It's all holographic. Everything is holographic because they're made of atoms that are mostly space. And these atoms that are mostly space are tiny little holograms that create reality. And people always say now, oh, it's an artificial construct. We're in an alien construct. You know what? We might be. But that is also a natural construct. It is source. There has to be an organic source first that creates the being that creates the artificial world. That's what artificial means. It's an artifice, a simulation, a mock-up of organic reality. So if we are inside of an artificial construct, it is made to look like the organic construct, and the organic construct is still there, and we still have access to it because we are organic beings. We are consciousness. And the very fact that I know that I am not attached to anything in this artificial construct, if that's what it is, makes me sovereign. It makes me liberated and free of the construct. When you see that you're in a matrix, whether it's organic or artificial, that's your liberation. That's self-actualization. People are so afraid of devils and angels and aliens and diabolical world leaders. They exist. Sure. In the right context, those things exist. But why would you be afraid of those things? You could trip going down the stairs and die, So there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And your goal as a human being is to remain in a state of peace so that your body is in a state of relaxation, because that's the state in which it heals itself and operates optimally. If you're in a state of stress and fear and anger and all that, you're going to become sick, mentally and physically. This is why the Buddha says contentment is the greatest wealth. Contentment is peace. It's the greatest wealth because nothing else matters if you're not in a state of peace. Why even live if you can't be in a state of peace, if you can't choose it for yourself? Now, that's a slippery slope because I know people are suffering. They're in a great deal of pain. They're in war zones. All these terrible things are happening. But it still applies, because if you want to keep pointing your fingers and saying, this is why I'm not happy, this is why I'm not happy, then you'll never be happy, because there's always going to be horrible things happening in this world. It's designed that way. It's a parasitic world where animals eat animals, and they're suffering. Terrible things happen, cause and effect. We're experiencing that here. But a master practices being in a state of peace regardless of the adversity in the world.